If I'm trying to think like a scientist when designing a pedal, you want to have as many controls as possible. One of those controls is the sound of the guitar that you're using. I got into the NYXLs. They last longer, they work better, and they stay in tune for longer. Just a lot of things that make my life easier.
Yeah, pedal-wise,
yeah, run us through your board and kind of give us some sound samples.
So, I mean, the two that are always on, I have a Rusty box, and I kind of EQ that one a little bit more than the sounds up. The sounds up I just leave on all the time.
Okay.
And have everything just at 12 o'clock, and it just widens the end of the chain a little bit more. Rusty box is on all the time, and it just gives it that little bit of extra spank.
Let's hear that
yeah.
combination.
So I'll just do Mother. So that's like kind of first two albums. It's mainly like that kind of tone. There'll be like the odd overdrive or whatever. I use a Dark Glass Microtunes B7K Ultra.
Okay.
I love that pedal. It does like, it's great. There's a lot of kind of EQ that I'll do with that as well for certain stuff. So if I'm doing like car crash, all the EQ's done through this one.
Okay.
So it's just like a real kind of dull, it's like a real monotonous, kind of subby, not much twang to it. So that one does like quite a lot of the EQ work as well, but also can just be used as quite a cool overdrive pedal, which I like to use quite a lot.
Is the Rusty hitting the sand amp, or how's that Rust going?
So yeah, Rusty's going into the Sans amp. So they're the two at the end of the chain.
Okay.
And then I've got a noise gate at the end of the chain as well, just to, you know,
yeah,
you know, it comes in useful every now and again when everything's flying around or happen to have to stand too close to the amp or whatever. I can crank that up and kind of, yeah, just control the top end, because there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of preamp going into the amps, you know, but it's kind of, yes, I love it. I love that high end spank, as you know, with the earlier stuff. So yeah, that's kind of what we do with those. And then a couple of fuzzes as options.
The Fuzz War.
The Fuzz War, Death by Audio, which is, what would I use that one on? Gift Horse, although this would be a different bass. You got. That would be played on the Serec though.
Yeah. I noticed on that Fuzz War, it's barely, all the three controls are kind of, they're pretty minute in terms of where they're at. Like, there's a lot to be pushed.
Yeah, there is a hell of a lot. There's a point in that I push it quite a lot, but I have to really fuck with the EQs and stuff to like control it. But they've just released the bass version of that in the last couple of weeks, and I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that and working some stuff out. It looks to be a lot more moldable and give you a lot more options for bass as well. The problem with bass fuzz, I find, is that there's quite a lot of time there's the mids is kind of lost, you know, and it just ends up becoming a little bit too shrill and trebly. So that's quite a good one, I found, that kind of keeps it all there, you know.
Got it.
So yeah, this is the Fuzz pedal, the Baltimore Sonic Research Institute FZZ, or Fuzz. We used it, we did a track for the Black album reissue for Metallica, and we were in the studio doing the cover version, and they had this pedal lying around, and it was again a moldable fuzz pedal that you'd be able to put the mids back in.
Got it.
And that kind of sounds cool. So yeah, this is what I'd use. Like obviously this I would use it in with my PE bass and not the jazz, but I can't be asked to change the guitar. Yeah, I would use this on like Beachland Ballroom, where it just do like the breaks, the spazzy breaks. Which sounds kind of cool, you know. So I think there is a definitely a better fuzz out there for that. But
yeah, especially in the heat of the battle, it really kicks out.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a nice pedal. Yeah, I mean, They're kind of my go-to ones, really. But you do have like this MF chorus, which I love. This is one of my favourite pedals.
It's your goth box.
It is my goth box, exactly. And like, there's certain songs where we can kind of bring it into, like, this would be like Gift Horse, but it would be played on the Tangk, but I can't be asked to change. So here we go. Kind of cool. I mean, like we wrote that song, and then Bowen kind of came in and was like, it's, you know, it was completely dry. It was just a song without that pedal, and then he came over and was like, try this, and it just like kind of brought the song to life, you know. So yeah, I've got a big fan of that pedal. I'm not really a fan of like touring with too much boutique and vintage stuff that you rely on, because I'm a very sweaty man, and I destroy a lot of pedals from just sweating into them, and that one is now discontinued, and I'm kind of terrified of when that dies, because they're becoming very expensive to get, and I'm starting to rely on it a little bit more now. So yeah, it's going to be an expensive game getting.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's kind of the basics of the boards of what we're kind of playing at the moment, really.
Man, I see a filter up here, and I see obviously a Strymon Flint, so it's kind of like some sprinkles on top of the cake.
There is, there's, you know, there's certain songs in Texas I can really go, I mean, like...
You got a Pog too, a little dinky Pog.
The Pog is actually kind of used quite a lot. This is like, so, Colossus at the start of the set.
Yeah.
That's definitely a Pog here.
All right, so like I noticed since we've been talking, you've changed the dark glass a few times with different settings and dip switches. You do that through the set?
Yeah. There was a period of time where I'd just have like a cheat sheet to the side of me.
I bet.
And I'd, you know, they're still on there now. You know, I've still got like certain like settings, and because my memory is terrible, so I'd have to be reminded of what to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tend to do them myself. Every now and again I'll forget, and then I'll just see Jake will walk on and look at me really pissed off, and then go down and just change something. I'm like, thank you very much. Yeah, he's a saviour.